This is yesterday I was unwell. I took the day off. I'll leave it at that. I wasn't 100%, and I wanted to sleep in today. So I haven't been as active this week. I'm trying to get over this little bit of a kind of had like an issue, but I'm good now. So how's everyone doing? Like this stream when you get here. We got some action to talk about tomorrow. We got a lot of boxing going on tomorrow. Not a lot of big fights, not a lot of names that jump off of the paper, but it's usually in these cards, guys, that we win. It's actually these cards, these events that really aren't pay-per-view events that I actually make the most money. So if you're in the Discord, I already gave you my 2-leg method of victory parlay, which is I'm seeing like when I posted that, I posted that 4 days ago, and I'm seeing that being sort of regurgitated around, which is fine. I got it at good odds. And then also my upset of the week, I gave my upset of the week to you guys 4 days ago, and the odds shifted. So if you would have listened to me about Anthony Cuba 4 days ago, I jumped on Cuba at $2.30. I got him at $2.35. He's now $1.77. So just remember that. I posted it. When I picked Cuba, he was the underdog at $2.35. Those odds shifted. The weigh-ins were today. He looks good. This is the guy. His only loss was to Carmel Moten. He's 22 years old. A lot of volume, fun fighter. Trains with Robert Garcia. When I saw that he was the dog, I was like, you're giving me Cuba plus money. I'm taking it all day. And then I also like, I broke down the Stionis fight versus McKenzie. And I like Stionis by stoppage. I told you guys that. I also like Sean McComb by decision. So I gave you guys those parlays in the Discord, also on YouTube. What I'm going to do is go over my long parlay. We'll go over that together. And wherever you tap it in, let's like this video. Guys, if you're not in the Discord, that link is pinned here in the comments. It's a couple bucks a month. Sign up, become a Johnny Says Boxing Insider here on YouTube. Get access to the Discord. I'm struggling with this. I got this stand. I got hit right here. What's up, boys? Buzzler in the house. What's up, big fella? Skeezy, about time you caught a stream. Yeah, I'm gonna be back doing 2 streams a day, guys. I just had to get my health in order, man. I ordered a dodgy ass seafood dish 2 nights ago, and I actually posted it on my Instagram, and it was so delicious. But dude, I got so sick. I was sick for like 8 hours, so that's why I didn't do any lives yesterday. What's up, Tyler? Manny in the house. Adu, what's up, big fella? I'm doing good. Martha Prince in the house. Julius, we're gonna get down to business. Naji Lopez versus Calvin under 7.5. Are you interested in watching the new 25-year-old heavyweight prospect? No, VTFX. So I want to talk. Let's talk about Julius real quick. Julius says Naji versus Calvin under 7.5. I got Naji by stoppage. So let's check those odds real quick. So I like Naji to win by stoppage. And a lot of you guys have to understand, what we're doing here is we're picking winners and losers, right? And we're picking method of victories. Just because I pick a guy like Naji to win by stoppage, I'm not telling you he's the best fighter in the world. Because I've noticed in some of the comment section, dude, this dude's, disregard I just said Naji. Replace his name with another name. People kind of get a misconception just because you're picking a winner or you're putting money on a guy. There's no connection with that, meaning that he's my favorite guy or he's going to be world champion. We do this match per match. What have you done for me lately? So when I'm looking at Naji versus Calvin Henderson, the money line's $1.10. I want to check out what Julius said, the over and under 7.5, and I want to compare those odds to the stoppage. Because right now I like Naji by knockout at $1.45. Will the fight go the distance? No, $1.36. So I still like it by knockout. And I'm not getting an over and under on the rounds. So those are the 3 options I'm getting. Let's see, round betting markets. Naji. Yeah, I'm not getting an over and under on the rounds. So Julius, what are you getting for under 7.5? Manny says, are you interested in watching the new 25-year-old heavyweight prospect, Nalvi TFX? He's a huge favorite, isn't he? Isn't TFX fighting? I was just looking at those odds. Yeah, he's a 30-1 favorite. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not gonna look at him yet. What's up, Mar? How do you feel about Lopez, Henderson under 6.5? This is what everyone's talking about. I'm not getting those options minus 125. I like it. I like it. I got the only thing I'm getting is the $1.45. I would under 6.5, guys. It is tough though. You guys just have to do your own math and you have to do your own statistics on how are you guys been winning, if you've been losing, because last week we had that fringe level heavyweight match where we were getting insider information. DeAndre Savage versus Brandon Moore. Everybody was looking for the stoppage, and it just never came. So it just comes down to, like, are you guys in a groove? Are you guys seeking? Are you guys trying to, like, chase? Do you got extra money to? It just depends on your risk versus reward. Would I put the house on Naji to stop him under 6.5? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather just put the house on Naji to win by stoppage. Goat in the house. Goat, what's crack-a-lagging? On Betway, under 7.5 minus. I like it. TJ, what's up? TJ in the house, traveling soldier. Mar, Germany got a nice cast of talent. Ajay Kebiel, yep. Abbas Barao, Osley Iglesias, Nelvi TFX. Yeah, isn't the kid who beats, isn't Echo Esimon German? Mar? Or am I tripping? Isn't the kid who beat Josh Taylor German, but fights out of the UK? And then Echo Esimon just got that fight with Catterall. Yeah, that Moore knockout. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tough. That Moore knockout. That Moore knockout never came, did it? And the big fella's back. So let's talk about it. No one's talking about Stanionis versus McKenzie, Jabulani McKenzie. I did the breakdown. I put the little video up of McKenzie in our Discord. You can't find a lot of tape on him. And the only tape you could find on him is when he got stopped against Mbenge. Mbenge is ranked in the top 10 on BoxRec in the world at 147. So when you look at the champions, guys, at 147, since Boots went up to 54, and you compare the champions, you got Lewis Crocker, Raleigh, Barrios, and Brian Norman Jr. I think Stanionis could beat. I would probably take Stanionis over Raleigh. I would probably take Stanionis over I don't know. I'd have to see what version. I'd have to see how much Stanionis left in the ring with that beatdown Boots put on him. But we'll see. For me, there's a lot. I like Stanionis' high guard. I like that jab. I like the aggression. And I was talking about this in my breakdown. Sometimes you fight guys who are just better than you. You know what I mean? And Jaron Ennis was just better than him everywhere. Now, and Jaron Ennis was just the better athlete as well. Are those guys who are champions at 47 better athletes than Stanionis? My point is, in his career, believe it or not, this will be Stanionis' first fight in Lithuania, his hometown. He's coming off of a loss. He's fighting a guy who has 2 losses in McKenzie, who has lost a decision loss to a guy who's a good fighter. He's a top 25 guy. And then he got knocked out. But in his knockout, it's not good. It's not good. That's all I'm saying. I think Stanionis, I think this is made to order. I think the style is made to order. I got Stanionis at $1.45 to win by knockout. My biggest bet this weekend is Stanionis by knockout and then McCumbee by decision. I gave you guys that bet. No one's talking about it. Oh, he's a Brit. All right, my bad. What's good, locks for tomorrow, Johnny? I trust you've been. What's up, Young Money? Yeah, so locks for tomorrow, man. I gave you guys the 2 just now. My upset of the week, who's now a favorite, is Cuba, Anthony Cuba. Too fast. I got him 5 days ago at plus 240. He's now $1.77. Goat. I think we're gonna bring down the house with Catterall, Esimon. Catterall will definitely win. Yeah, decision, right? Jack Catterall by decision, I think, is the move. That's like saying Papo was sick at the weigh-ins versus Pero, and he went, oh, God. We hit, but, dude, it didn't look good for us. Like, we hit all those money lines in Australia like we always do. That seemed like it was 2 years ago. That was just last week. But TJ's referencing the David Papo versus Liam Paro fight. Man, because that was the last pick we needed to come through to get the dub, and we got it. But, mate, that was way closer than we thought it was going to be, wasn't it? And Papo was just, he was trickier than I thought he was going to be. Bigger. Julius Fax, Savage was done 100%. Stanionis is a fun fighter. GOAT. I also appreciate Bozy for welcoming a guy like that into their group, as well as Andy Cruz. A lot of trainers stick with their ethnicity and race. Stanionis, McKenzie, over under 6.5. Fresh BX, it just depends on... I would take the under, but that's not my lock. If I were, gun to my head, lack of a better analogy, Stanionis should get him out of there quick. Mankey crazy. Macomb, not McCumbee. Yeah, Macomb. Favorites over 30. A lot of times lack killer instinct. Recent examples, Tank, Canelo, and Boachek. Huh. Tank, man. Jesus. Gasville. Kuba by points. Jeremy Hill money line. Macomb decision. Carlos Alberg versus Reyes over 2.5. I like the little UFC mix in there. I'm not mad at it. I don't mind it. Carlos Alberg versus Reyes. I think people are sleeping on Dom Reyes, by the way. I know that Carlos, when Carlos Alberg gassed out, I think he got stopped against Kennedy and Jukachu in his first UFC fight, and then he's been undefeated since. And then we know how Dom stormed out the gates looking amazing. And then when he lost that close decision to John, he lost like 3 or 4 in a row, but then he's won a few again. Dom's a hell of an That's going to be a fun fight. Both guys keep their chin in the air. We'll see. You like the over 2.5? Oh, Gasville, I like the under 2.5. I think someone's getting stopped early. Sean McComb, a good fighter. Barboza win would have been life-changing. Yeah. Sean McComb is a good fighter. Doesn't take a lot of risks. I didn't even know Charlo versus Spence was real until today. That's not official. Did I miss something? Brit fight outcomes lately have given me PTSD. I'll be watching McComb fight from behind the couch. Alberg usually goes the distance while Reyes been catching K's on his cans, bro. Yeah, I'm just saying both guys are tall, long. They're both strikers. They both keep their chin in the air. I think they're both going to be coming out with that nervous main event energy. I think someone's going to bed early in that fight, boy. Next week, I'm going heavy on Allen versus Makhmadov, no distance. I like it, Julius. Hey, guys, did you guys hear about how Dave Allen trolled everybody at the weigh-in with Johnny Fisher and how he stuck his gut out on purpose? Did anyone hear this? Manny, James DeGale, Matt Floyd tomorrow. I don't bet BKFC, mate. James DeGale was a legit world champion. Isn't Matt Floyd an Aussie that... I don't know, mate. I don't bet BKFC. Sorry. With you, Jack Cullen also fighting. Yeah, I don't... man, I can't be betting on I can't be betting on bare knuckle, man. If I start betting on bare knuckle, where do we draw the line? This is... Bare knuckle was like the next for me. If I start betting on bare knuckle, next thing you know, we're doing the electronic dog races, boy. I already told you guys about that. I got to stay in my lane. I got to stay focused. Dude, betting on bare knuckle, dude. No way. Here come the electronic dogs, for sure. The electronic horses, boy. Yeah, combat's... I got it. I guess bare knuckle is still a combat sport, but it just... Anything can happen. Maybe in bare knuckle, I would just take every fight to end before the distance. I don't watch it, though, so I can't... I think the last bare knuckle fight I watched was when Mike Perry fought Luke Rockhold. And Luke Rockhold got hit here, and his jaw kind of broke his teeth. And I was like, this shit is brutal. DJ Green, we gonna start betting on foot. Oh, dude, you know that's right. Slapfest, right? Dude, they got pillow fighting now, boys. They got pillow fighting out here. I thought they were kidding, but they got legit pillow fighting because I saw one of the dudes, and there's like a I saw a dude doing a pillow fighting thing that got uplifted to do the slap thing. And then the dude is like trying to fight in like on Dana White's Contender Series. And he was, I don't know, man. It's good. We live in a very entertaining time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't get options either to bet on BKFC, boys. Whoever asked me that. So McComb decision, I like. I'm gonna do a money line parlay real quick. We can piece it together. I'll put guys. I'm gonna post this for everybody on YouTube. So if you missed something, just go to the post section in like an hour when I post it. We're gonna do this together real quick. These are just money line picks. If you're new to the channel, I've been doing this since I started giving my bets about 6 months ago. My long parlay. Here we go. These are all money line. I'm taking Stan on the money line. I'm taking Tycee Gallagher on the money line. I'm taking McComb on the money line. I'm taking Valet on the money line. I'm taking Cuba on the money line. Oh shit, Lucero at plus money. That's kind of like the bookies fucking with us. A little cheeky C-level fight for even money. Joshua Anton versus Isaiah Lucero. It's like taunting you. Plus 195 each way. I'm going to stay away from it for now. Javon Walton money line. Ooh. Did anybody do tape on Chacon? I asked you guys if anyone did tape on Jeremy Hill versus Chacon. I'm interested if anyone taped that. If TJ's still here, you know, TJ will tape almost everything, or he at least has knowledge of Jeremy Hill versus Christian Chacon. Off of memory, I think Chacon might be a live dog here. I'm not going to put that on my parlay. Kendez money line. I like Emilio Morano at 45. Emilio Morano. He's fighting Raul Garcia. Dominican fighter. Kind of a 50-50 fight. You get good odds here. I'm going to take Moreno. And I got Kim Clavel money line, and then Naji. This is a 10-legger. 1246. 1,000 gets you 12,000. Who's ready to eat? Who's ready to eat? 1,000 gets you 12,000. Let's go. Manny, do you think Naomi Valet has easier chance of upset? So I got Valet on the money line. With these ladies, there's always going to be a chance of upset. If anything, so Macri is a 430. If anything, I would play the draw. I'm taking Valet on my money line. But if you're thinking from the tape you watched that the upset's in play, I would play the draw instead of the upset, considering A side, B side sort of thing. Those slap fights are brutal. I know, Julius. So short little story, Julius. My old roommate, she was the first fighter. She was the first female fighter ever to fight in the UFC. Her name was Alexandra Chambers, and she was my roommate during she did the Ultimate Fighter season 20. It was the introduction to the strawweight division in 2015. Anyway, she fought a girl. She headlined once in Vegas against Paige Van Zandt. I watched Paige do the slap fights. Why would you in anything in life, don't ever let anyone just hit you in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, with no defense. At least, like, have some sort of, like, be able to but there's no defense. Crispy Chris in the house. What's up, my guy? Maslam Kendez. I got a Kendez in that fight. A Kendez got a nice little game to him, by the way, More. Have you watched his tape? Akdenez. I thought it was a Kendez. Did you spell that wrong? Yeah, it's a Kendez. He got a nice little game to him. You were on fire. Yeah, Crispy Chris. This is what I tell people, what I'm learning through you boys, is that the boxing fan in the house, what's up, playa? That's my guy. I've been sick this week, boxing fan, so I haven't seen you in a while. But Crispy Chris, I was telling people one of my favorite things about our Discord is our the live feature. Because watching those Dana White Contender Series fights and seeing all the boys, the action, it's good to get, like, I think we were all like, let's take this. Yeah, I hit an 8-1. Yeah, I hit the stoppage. I won a lot of money this week, guys, which is crazy, on the Dana White, on live betting. That's where it's at, man. Especially, I think, you know, just because the 3-rounder element, and maybe that kind of speaks to us as, like, degenerates, Because if there's 3-round action and the odds keep shifting and you're just playing, methods, dude, the live betting for the UFC was fun. I had a good time doing that. Are you cooking up? Yeah, long parlay. I'm going to post what I just did, guys. So I just put together, I got 10 fights on my long parlay. It's 13-1. Sal's blog talk. Yo, Johnny, riding with Cuba with you, his dog style. Yeah. Yeah, Sal. And Sal, man, my thing about the Cuba fight is that we talked about Anthony Cuba. We talked about him earlier in the week. And now the word had got out. So just remember, boys, we got him at 240. We got Anthony at plus 240 when he was an underdog. The word got out. Now he's like $1.75. DJ, live betting be too sweet. I know. DJ, it's something about it when it hits two, you get a little bit of a different shrug because you didn't sweat all week. You didn't go to bed like, oh shit, I got all this money on this parlay. It's like impulse. It's like microwave. Let me take this, put it in the microwave real quick. You get results right off jump. Boxing fan, days ain't the same without John. We're back. I'm feeling good, man. So in Sydney, so imagine like what a lobster is. I'm sure a lot of you guys, who doesn't love lobster, right? I love lobster. Now, there's these little versions of lobsters which are indigenous around the harbors in Sydney and probably all along the coastline in Australia. They're called Moreton bugs. So Moreton bugs, for lack of a better term. I'm sure that's not their species genome, but on the menu, they're called Moreton bugs. Basically tiny little lobsters. So my girlfriend and I go to dinner at our favorite seafood place 2 nights ago, and I actually posted on my Instagram. I had the Moreton bug risotto. It was delicious, absolutely delicious, but I got sick for like 7 hours. So I ate dinner because I'm an old man. I ate dinner Thursday night at 6 p.m. I go to bed Thursday night at 9 p.m. because I'm an old man. And I get woken up at 2 a.m. And from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., it's just violently ill. And so I was basically bedridden all day yesterday, didn't coach, didn't train, didn't do anything. And then now we're here. So I boxed earlier this morning. My energy levels were shit though. It was, what's crazy about boxing, man? It's something that we don't speak about. Even like if you're, an old head like me, who's just a lifelong, I still spar. I'm not sparring guys we're not trying to hurt each other. But you kind of see it at the highest level too. When a fighter either is trying to hide an injury or you're running out of gas, you just kind of like take too many shots. So today in sparring, man, I went 10 3-minute rounds, and I go with this other guy. We do 20 seconds of rest. So we do 10 3-minute rounds with only 20 seconds in between. By the 7th round, man, I had no energy, and I just sat on the ropes, just taking body shots, which in a weird, sick way, I like getting hit to the body. I don't like getting hit to the liver, obviously. I'm not talking about, but like I like guarding up and rolling with punches. There's like a fluidity about it. If you're rolling with it and you're not getting hit clean and you have your opponent's timing, it's almost like a game, which I like. But it reminded me how I was sick 2 days ago because I had no energy. So I really felt it. Anyway, I got Cuba when he was a dog. That's good money right there. Young Money. By Anthony Cuba, do you mean Anthony? No. Anthony Cuba. I mean Anthony Cuba. So Cuba's fighting Jorge De Jesus. So yeah, I did, mate. I got pieced up, boy. They called it a bug risotto, and mate, it was horrible. I got Tyson Gallagher moneyline Rambler. So were you guys on the live stream that I gave you the 10 picks? Do you have my 10 picks or no? We just went over it. All right, boys, let's talk about your picks now. I don't even see him on the line for the DraftKings. Young Money, really? We're getting him in Australia. Young Money, are you you should sign up to the Discord, mate. What fights are you boys on the line about? Like, is there any sort of match that you guys want to pick my brain on that you might not like how to pull the trigger? Because I'm confident, guys. I'm very confident. Stanionis by stoppage. Angel Calito, what's up, brother? He goes, I'm trying to learn how to box just for fun and cardio. My gym only has the reflex bag, and heavy bag is the reflex bag better. If you're trying to learn to box just for cardio, the best way to do it is, learn the fundamentals. Learn the things on hell before you even put the gloves on. So things like your footwork. If you're an orthodox fighter, meaning your right hand's behind you, learn the feet. Do a 90-degree drill. That back foot guides our movement. The back foot slides. Our coach would do a matrix drill. So you slide 2 feet up, slide to the right, slide back before you even put the gloves on. And then your technique on your punches. Remember your straight punches, your jab, your cross, palms down. Hooks, coffee mug. Hooks, coffee mug. Uppercuts, palms up. So learn your technique on your punches, learn your footwork, put a tennis ball here to keep that chin down. And then after you get all that stuff sorted, learning the boxing technique is a lifelong thing. There's professionals, there's not one pro that I've ever met who would say that their technique's 100% on point. There's always something to add to your game. So if you got the heavy bag is going to be more of a power resistance workout, meaning that you're going to work a different energy system than the rhythm and swing bag. The rhythm and swing bag is going to be more of a aerobic workout, less resistance per what you weigh sort of thing, versus the heavy bag. If we're talking about a heavy bag that's not moving, you're going to get more of a anaerobic workout because there's pressure, there's resistance, and you're throwing power shots, lean in, that sort of thing. So it just depends on where you are. Also, don't ever hit the heavy bag without wrapping your hands as well. Get a good pair of gloves. There's a lot of little things that hopefully your coaches are telling you. If you're at a fight gym, they're going to tell you this. Julius, I'm leaning Raul Garcia. Moreno got a gift stoppage. Yeah, Julius, that fight could go either way. He's right. I'm not saying Emiliano Moreno is going to be a world champion. Raul Garcia, Garcia's the Dominican, right? He's going to be a little bit bigger. I think he's 6'2". That's what he's listed at. I didn't get to see the weigh-ins. I think there's good value either way, Julius. I'm currently going with Moreno based off the A side, based off of, I've seen more of his tape than I've seen with Garcia. And in this sort of matchup, I kind of look at what I've seen, what each fighter is trending. I know Garcia has 2 losses, I think. It's just there's not enough for me to think that he's going to upset Moreno. Young Money, Cuba is a dog. When he fought Carmel, I bet Moten 1,000 by decision. Won so much money, odds were like plus 500. Yeah, Anthony Cuba is a dog. It's kind of like I didn't even know he was fighting this week. We follow each other on Instagram. He wasn't really promoting the fight. My first live stream was obviously Monday in Australia, Sunday in America, this earlier in the week, and I saw my odds. I was like, holy shit, Anthony Cuba's fighting. I was like, this kid's a dog. Young, 22-year-old, fights with Robert Garcia, watch the Carmel fight, like you said, a lot of volume. What's going to happen, I feel, is that body work. I love body punchers, it's no secret. And when you mix in the technique and the approach that Robert Garcia has his fighters, he's not just tapping the body. Garcia likes his fighters to sell out, to invest in the body. Invest in the body, meaning you need to take a risk to get your reward. You're not just seeking a body punch. Like, I wish that I could say I'm a big body puncher. I like punching the body, but you have to be willing to get hit to invest in the body. And this is what Robert Garcia fighters do. And I think as Cuba evolves in his career, he's only 22, been active as well. He's going to learn to invest, sit down on those punches, dig those punches in, and, punch with a little bit more power. What ounce gloves do you use on the heavy bag? On my heavy bag, I use 16s. Every time if you watch any of my videos, all of the videos you see of me hitting my heavy bag are my 16s. I just got a new pair of 16s too. I should go. They're down to my gym. I got the new Everlast. So Everlast has a new pair that are the throwback pair. So they're brown and they're sort of like, if you think about like brown antique color, they're fucking sweet. I haven't used them yet. They're downstairs. I wanted to wear them today for sparring, but I haven't kind of broken them in. And sometimes if you don't break the glove in, you could get creases on them, and I didn't want to cut my guy. The Lobster had the last laugh. I hope they open up the lines for him here in Oregon. I'll be stacked high on him. Yeah, maybe by tomorrow. So the parlay for tomorrow. Young Money, I gave you the 10 fights. I'm going to put it in the YouTube after this live stream. I'll go over it one more time for you guys. I'm trying to play it. Play it smart, mate. Yeah, play it smart. You don't have to bet. Guys, if you don't have the money, don't bet. It's not about bet. I don't want anybody to ever come to my channel to think it's betting first. This is boxing first. The betting is an entertainment element. Any thoughts on Glanton versus Brown? Man, I like Brandon Glanton. But, you know, Atlanta fighter. We last saw Brandon Glenn in the UK. He was on the undercard. He, you know, I thought he fought pretty well. I picked him to upset the old mate, Chris Billum Smith. But, dude, Julius, Chris Billum Smith fought well. You know, I didn't expect Chris Billum Smith to fight that well. I don't know if Glanton expected him to fight that well. And then we were supposed to see Glanton on that punk-ass card, Amir Khan. And remember that, the African card, like 3 months ago? Oh, God, that stream was horrible. Glanton was on that card. He never fought. So I'm a fan of Brandon Glanton. I didn't know that card was this middle of the week, so shout out to Julius for giving us the heads up. I also have skinny hands. I heard punching can thicken. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's just like anything, though. You know, it's what happens is you get callus, not so much calluses, but scar tissue. You just build your hands up. Also, these two knuckles, these two. Index, middle, here. Landing points. Never here. So when you hear fighters get boxer fractures, a boxing fracture is when these two, the smallest part of the hand, get broken. You want to land these two on your target point, right? Because, so the arm has two bones. You have your radius, this one, thumb, the thumb rotates, think radius, and then here, your ulna. So that ulna bone is real tiny, the one coming that connects it to the wrist. And so when people punch and they land these two first, that usually will break, and that'll break here. So a boxer's fracture is when they're landing with the wrong part of the fist. So that's another thing. Knowing on contact, you want to land with these two knuckles, not those two. Bang. Always keep that in mind. Come on, safety first, then teamwork. What are we doing out here? The betting is a perk, but you can make a bet. That's what I'm talking about, Young Money. All right, we're going to get into it. Christian George, what's up, Johnny? Are you doing tape on Moreno Emiliano fight? I'm not, Christian, I was sick, so I didn't get a chance to do the stats don't lie on that fight, but I am taking from the tape I've seen on both guys. I have my money on Moreno. Look, guys, I'm going to go over my money line parlay again with you if you just tuned in real quick. This will be posted in our Discord. This will be posted on my YouTube, and this will be posted on the Instagram. So Instagram as well, if you're not following me there, give me a follow on Insta. Say, hey, Johnny, it's so-and-so from YouTube. I'll follow you back. A lot of the boys chat with me there as well. I don't really post a lot anymore. It used to be a fitness page. I post a lot in my story. So on the money line, these are all money line picks. Stanionis, Gallagher, McComb, Valle, Cuba, Walton, Akendez, Moreno, Clavel, Naji Lopez, 10 legs, $12.46. 1,000 gets you 11,000 back. Where you at, Muscle Brown? Where you at? Who's froggying up? 100 though gets you a nice little 1,000 back. That's nice. If you got a little 1,000, put $100, 25. $10 gets you your 120. My upset of October is Keith Thurman. Oh, look at Julius with the hot take. So we're 34 minutes in. Are we going to start there? Do you want to talk there? Yeah, the custom members, boy. My man, boxing fan. It's good to have you back, brother. So, what's the most you bet? Julius, my upset of the month is Keith. Johnny hit for 25K on an 11-legger. I did. I don't like talking about the betting. I don't get the dollar reference regarding the odds, mate. So, Julius says his upset of October is Keith Thurman to beat Seb. Are we getting odds on that right now? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Oh, God. Keith Thurman right now is $4.50. So if you don't understand the dollar amount, $100, if somebody is a $4 underdog, $100 on him gets you your money back plus 300, which means he's a 3-to-1 underdog. Keith Thurman is $4.50, meaning 100 on Keith on the money line. You get your money back plus $350. He's not quite a 4-to-1 dog, but that is great value, guys. Julius, man, in terms of like tape study, resume, style, odds. You give me Thurman at plus 450? Jeez. That's hard to pass up. I mean, what's the value on Fundora? $1.24? I mean, what are we talking about? Now, if those odds were 50-50, it's hard for me to bet against Seb, though. Like, it's hard for me to bet against Fundora. I mean, Keith is short, man, and he's old. Does he still have his legs? How much credence do we give the Brock Jarvis win? I could see, I mean, this isn't my official thing, but the way Keith Thurman hangs out, and we'll if it's 20, this isn't 27-year-old Keith Thurman. If this is 27-year-old Keith Thurman, I don't think it's an argument. I would, if this was 27-year-old Keith versus Seb, I would take Keith Thurman 10 times out of 10. He's going to need his legs. And he's going to need to, but he's also going to need to work the body. And we know where Seb wants to fight. Seb has his range. He loves that space. He loves his distance. Seb cooks in the pocket. That's why, like, say what you will about Seb Fundora, from like a fighting spirit sort of approach, from like a guy, if you love the sport of boxing, who's going to stand there and bang with you. It's hard to not like Seb Fundora, man. Like that, when I watch Seb fight, that's what I look at. I look at a guy who's obviously not the most athletic, not the fastest, not the quickest, not the strongest, doesn't have the best power, but he's just tall, and he's obviously rangy is an understatement, but he's a dog. Like, you wouldn't expect him to be a dog. Dude, Seb Fundora is a dog. He'll stay right, like, that dude for me is tough to cheer against. He's a dog, and, punching down too with Keith, who's kind of like wide a bit, and I don't know, man. I could see Seb stopping Keith. I'm not saying that's my pick, but I always have to play both sides. Me being an old head, I'd love to see Keith get a win. I'd love to see Keith become a world champion at 154. This is a legacy opportunity for Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? And for Seb, it's an opportunity for him to be a future Hall of Famer. By far, this would be Fundora's biggest win. And then for Keith, it's an opportunity to cement himself and remind everybody at one time he was a pound-for-pound guy. So it's an interesting fight. I'd love to say that Keith is just going to be able to cook him on the inside and break him down and be faster and just outbox him and beat him. We'll see what happens. It's a tough one. I'm a big Keith Thurman fan. All right, the boys are tapping in. David Eiser, my guy. Naji Lopez is trying to wait for Better Beef to get old. I think so. Dude, Better Beef is old, Dave. I'm 43. Better Beef is 42. Thurman started at plus 500. He's steadily moving down. All right, Julius. Like I said, I'm a Keith Thurman, man. One time, Keith Thurman is everything that's good about boxing. Thurman has been out of the game and got knocked down by Pac-Man. Pac-Man's the only 8th division world champion ever. JP, I still don't get why the odds are that wide. Should be closer to even fight. JP, I think what's going to happen is just what Julius stated. JP, I bet you the closer we get to October 26th, the odds are probably going to, tighten up. So if you're high on Keith, take him now. I might sprinkle something on Keith now just for the sake of it. David, but another good to see you too, brother. Young Money, do you think Naji Lopez gets the decision? No, I got Naji by stoppage, by the way, Young Money. Mar, who do you give the best chance of pulling the upset? Keith Thurman over Seb, Erikson versus Virgil, Fabio Worley versus Parker, or Jesse Hart versus... I don't see Jesse Hart beaten. We were just talking about this. Sorry for... Give me 1 second. Sorry for not remembering this off jump. But, having all these... Jesse Hart is, he's taking on, God damn it. I hate using the internet. Khalil Ko. Yeah, I hate using the internet, but I had to for that one. So who do you think is best chance of getting upset? Let's see what the odds are. Fabio Wardley's a dog. Guys, I like Fabio's chances against Parker, man. It's a dangerous fight for Joe Parker. Damn, dude. Why? I don't like this matchup for Joe Parker. I don't. I also, I think Virgil versus Eric is going to be closer than people think, man. I think, Eric is going to be the bigger dude. The southpaw style, he could crack, dude. He has power. And, he uses his jab. He prods forward. I mean, it's a tough fight. Let's see what the Joe Parker versus Wardley. Wardley is a plus 450. Now, look. It's after we saw the Justice Uni fight and watched Wardley pull a Deontay Wilder, and when I say I never bet on odds, I mean logically, I'll never do a Stats Don't Lie video for you guys and upload it and then take a winner or loser based on odds. The Stats Don't Lie video is all based on film study, stylistic matchups, reasoning, etc. Now, there's another side of me, the Riverboat Gambler side, is that when I see Fabio Wardley fighting Joe Parker, and you could get him at plus 550, meaning almost a 5-1 dog, it's hard to not take Fabio in that fight. Now that's not my prediction, but why not sprinkle something on Fabio there? Let's see what Virgil and Luben is right now. Virgil Luben. Luben's a 5-1 dog. Wow. Guys, man. Do we really think, are all these favorites going to win? Luben's a 5-1 dog. God damn. Who was the last one? Parker. Seb, Keith, Virgil, Luben. I think we covered all of them. The one that I think could win. I don't think Jesse Hart beats Khalil Komate. So I would probably say if I had to pick one, I would say off jump, I would probably pick Keith. If I had to pick one. I'm not saying that's my lock. Joe Parker, we've seen him dropped before. We've seen Joe Parker stopped. We've seen Joe Parker come back. People love the Andy Lee sort of connection. But Fabio Wardley could crack, dude. What do you guys think? Jake, very difficult to outbox Fundora. Dude is tall. Need to try and knock Fundora like Mendoza. But even when you watch that Mendoza, that knockout, it was an over-the-top shot. I don't know. Fundora is tough, man. Joe Parker gets himself into firefights more than people realize, even in the short sample we got against Piccoli. He did get hit, man. He did get hit. Parker 1-6. I like it. But even some of the more underground Long Beach artists were underrated. Oh, we got the music already? Would love to see Thurman in a commentary box when he finishes up. 100%. Yeah, Keith Thurman, man, he's a fan favorite. All right, the boys are popping. Yeah, I used to live in Long Beach, David. I love Long Beach rap. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. One of my favorites. Okay. Yeah, Luben's lost every big fight. Yeah, I mean, the big fights. He got Charlo, which seemed like forever ago. All right, what we should do as a team then is all watch as a team. I know we could do this in our Discord group because I could share a screen. But we should rewatch Seb Fundora versus Erikson Luben. Because all people remember is the fight being stopped because Luben's face looked like the Elephant Man. The swelling, it looked awful. But what people don't remember is Luben, I had Luben winning. I think it got stopped in the 7th. What did it get stopped in the 9th? Luben wasn't getting washed, dude. Let's see what the judges had it when it got stopped. I want to rewatch it. Off of my memory, I had that fight scored real close. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I got stopped in the ninth. I remember thinking to myself, God damn it, it's hard. That's a heartbreaking loss for Luben because it was for the interim title. Luben got dropped. Yeah, Luben got dropped in the second. Luben drops Fundora in the seventh. And then the scorecards after, the swelling, 85-85, 85-84, 85-84. So, I mean, that could have gone either. That was, if they don't stop that fight and they don't call it, a TKO, that fight was trending in Luben's favor. Luben is Julius, 100%. I've been saying that all year. Erikson Luben is 137 years old. Erikson Luben is the youngest 29-year-old. And you know what this is, though, is this is a testament to Luben. Dude, here's another thing for you, Julius. How many title eliminator fights has Erikson Luben fought in without fighting for a world title? I think 5, maybe 5. So, like, hats off. This is his, I don't want to say he's not even 30 yet. So you can't say this is it for him. Dude, what are we talking about, guys? You removed the Charlo stoppage when he was 21 years old. And then if luck went the other way with Fundora, this is not going to be an easy fight for Virgil, man. Everyone says the Jesus Ramos scorecards. He won a UD against Ramos, mate. You thought the scorecards were a bit iffy? 117, 111, 116, 112, 115, 113. Jesus Ramos is a dog, too. Yeah, Julius. Legend has it he's 37, but the Illuminati cover it up. Did Luben legitimately lose those fights or any politics involved? Luben got stopped against Charlo and stopped against Seb. That was it. But the fight against Seb, when he got stopped, it was due to his head swelling up. But I had him coming on and winning the fight. Can we rewatch Jesus Ramos' fight? Because I never seen it. Yeah, okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to schedule that into the Discord. I'll tag everybody, and then we'll put it up in the Discord. Because we got to find out a time, too, that people could watch it. Because it has to be alive. Butch Cassidy, Corrupt, DJ Quick on a song together. Nice. Luben is not durable. Luben is going to win via decision. Like it. Nah, never. Nah, never. I like it. Burrisell and Luben's age are conspiracies. Yeah, man. Barry unboxing. Ramos was robbed. Luben did not. What? All right, Barry. I got to rewatch it then because you're not the only one saying that. Now, that fight, it seems like, it was 2 years ago. It seems like it was a long time ago. Boxing, 2 years in boxing seems like an, age away, right? I have to rewatch it because you're not the only one who says that Luben should have lost that fight. I know David Eister has always said that Ramos won that fight. Usyk with the super chat. Thanks, brother. Luben might be having those Cuban papers lying about his age. Nah, Erikson, he's American. He came up through the American, he's South Florida. Thank you for the super chat, big dog. Gifted. I thought Ramos lost that fight. Yeah, you're not the only one. So the boys, people forget if Seb Fundora versus Luben wasn't stopped, Luben would have been carried out in a stretcher. Oh, you think he would have been carried out in a stretcher? Okay, but hold on. So what I'm saying, Julius, is I'm not saying that the fight shouldn't have been stopped. What I'm saying is that the damage, the swelling, stopped the fight, which it is warranted. But it wasn't like he wasn't hurt though. The physical was hurt, but he was rewatched that fight. He was winning the fight. He's the one who had Seb Fundora hurt in the 7th. He just was getting tagged early, and by the 9th round, he looked like it looked horrible. Gifted. When you listen to the sound effect of the punches, Luben was hitting harder than Ramos. Luben could crack, dude. Luben could punch, man. Ramos did some decent work. Let's go. Usyk in the house. It was not a robbery. I remember the Charlo loss also. See, the Charlo loss, in my opinion, was a bad business decision. I brought this up. I always talk about this loss. That's just bad promotions. That's bad marketing. Whoever was taking care of Luben's career out of the amateurs. Luben, guys, Erikson Luben entered the pro ranks. And look into this if you guys don't remember. If you're not, Luben had the same thing Errol Spence Jr. had coming out of the amateurs. If you remember the aura that Errol Spence had coming out of the Olympic team, making his pro debut, Erikson Luben was that guy, dude. He had so much hype as an amateur. People were so high on him, so he was getting sort of like expedited to the world level. And I just feel like that fight against Charlo just happened way too soon. Ortiz gonna be too much for Luben, in my opinion. Pressure him into a beatdown. God damn. Virgil did look good against Majramov. Virgil did show his vulnerabilities against Boachuk. Luben's face was really bad. Jake, yeah, it was, man. It was awful. It was bad. It was bad, but he wasn't. It's hard to put words into what I mean if you rewatch. His spirit wasn't hurt, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, it looked horrific and they couldn't continue. But it's not like he was losing every second of every round. You know what I mean? It was a 50-50 fight in the ninth. Majramov would stop Luben. I don't know, man. This Luben hate is crazy to me. I don't know, guys. Erikson Luben's a good fighter, dude. You don't think Luben had Errol's hype? Luben is the one who negotiated that early title shot. Yeah, but Fresh, just because you negotiate an early title shot doesn't mean you should get it. It's part of your team and your handlers that hold you down. You know, hey, bro, we're not quite there yet. You know, maybe 1 or 2 fights you could fight Charlo. This was prime Charlo, 2019, 2020 Charlo. Are you kidding me? That was way too much too soon. Of course, every kid, every guy at 20, 21 years old is going to put their hand up to say, I'm fucking ready. You need a team around you. Like, hey, young man. Not quite yet, big fella. That's what I mean by that. And he did have hype. Let's rewind it. I'll bring up articles from 2017 with Luben. 2018. This dude, everybody knew about the hammer. People were talking about this southpaw, marketable, had a lot of power, swag. People were really high on Luben. Luben has had a lot of dog in him. He won't be an easy fight. I don't think he's an easy fight for Ortiz at all, dude. Virgil deserves a lot of credit for taking this fight. High risk, low reward. Why do we think it's low reward, though? I mean, Luben has been fighting in title eliminators. Okay. Holmes, Ramos, Arias, lost to Seb, all knocked out Jason Rosario, Terrell Gachet, Olympian, Gallimore. People are going to try to do what they want to do and talk about, like, you know, his resume, but, like, I don't know, dude. If you're going to do that, Olympian, world champion, Olympian. Dude. Johnny Johnny looking like Canelo at the oh yeah, my black beater. Yeah, I gotta get the black Lokes though. Luben want to know part of this is another thing, boys. Let's get to this in a second. Daniel Vega in the house. What's up, play? Yeah, Gachet's not a big puncher. Gachet did drop Tim Tszyu though in the second. I can't go against Virgil. Virgil's one of my favorite guys. Luben wanted no parts of Murtazaev. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Murtazaev. People are so sold. People think Bakram is like. I think Bakram's very beatable, dude. Like I said, if the fight goes official, I would take Josh Kelly to beat Murtazaev. I'm dead serious. I think Josh Kelly's speed, his movement, his ability to throw punches at different angles. Josh Kelly, his size, dude, I want to see Kelly versus Murtazaev. I think Adams and maybe even Conwell would beat Luben. Damn, dude, the Erikson Luben shade is getting crazy. It's getting crazy. Why not just throw Callum Walsh in there? Callum Walsh would beat Luben then. Virgil Ortiz was supposed to be multi-division champ by now. Yeah, Julius, but I mean, the health issues, you know, he had rhabdo. rhabdo is like literally when your organs shut down due to overexertion. A lot of CrossFitters, people have died from rhabdo. And, he's been, as of late, he's been more active. Elijah Garcia is going to go get upset. I like, man, you guys hate on, I like Elijah Garcia is going to go get upset again. Dude, this is a tough crowd, boys. This is a tough crowd. Spence was a proven guy on his limiting. Luben was a projected guy on the team. He was never on. Costa was a great fighter, but he was great. Josh Kelly doesn't throw enough. I want to see that fight. Think about it. The guy has lost every big fight. All right, guys. Hour in. Let's like the video. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, let's see. So we're talking Gausha beat Elijah. Yeah, that was a crazy decision, but we picked Elijah, so I was happy with it. I won a lot of money on Elijah getting that decision. But Gausha, Gausha is one of these guys that kind of like not fight styles, but when you watch a Sandor Martin fight, Sandor Martin kind of operates similarly. He gives so many rounds away in the last 20 seconds, Sandor Martin, so he loses these close fights. And I think Gausha kind of, is susceptible to that as well. But, watch the Sandor Martin versus, what was it, Teofimo Lopez, Sandor Martin versus Alberto Puello. Sandor Martin is a guy who is a tough out for everyone too, but he just sometimes lacks like that last 30 seconds of a round where he just gives away almost these really close rounds. Josh is a very good boxer, but the Russian is a big 154. Josh is bigger than Murtaza. I mean, Kelly is coming down to 54. He would cut the ring off and hurt that kid. There's a reason no one is saying. I don't know, man. I've seen Bakr Murtazaev look extremely average before. I think people are just really getting honey-dicked by the Tim Tszyu knockout. I mean, what fight are we talking if you remove Tim Tszyu? Did you watch the fight before that? Did you watch the Jack Colque fight? He stopped him in the 11th. I mean, doesn't have a lot of guys on his resume either. Hasn't been the most active of guys either since 2019. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's fought 6 times since 2019. Hasn't fought in going over a year. I mean, Colque, the cards when that fight got stopped, 99-91, 96-94, 95-96. One of the judges had Colque up against Murtazaev. So I don't know, man. One of you fought an 8-rounder the fight before, won a unanimous decision in an 8-rounder, Murtazaev. I mean, I don't know, dude. I want to see more of him. I'm not saying he's not that dude. I'm just saying I don't think anybody's avoiding him. I don't think anyone at 154 is avoiding Bakr Murtazaev. I think that's a media thing. I picked Gausha even though I lost. Pandora. He didn't look good in the fight before Tim Tszyu fight because he was fasting. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, that's what they say. And Bakrum's feet, but also his setups. I think like when you watch his how he enters the pocket and what he wants to do, everything comes at sort of like I don't know. I'm not sold on Bakr Murtazaev, man. You guys mentioned I'd like to see, who'd you guys say that would beat Luben? You said Charles Conwell, and then who was the other guy you said that would beat Luben? You could easily say that about Murtazaev, mate. Murtazaev beat Tim Tszyu, went 11 with Colque, and then fought an 8-rounder. What are we talking about? That's the dude that people are afraid of? What are we talking about? Who would you favor, Tszyu versus Bo? Mar, I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know, mate. I don't even want to talk about Seri Boacek and Tim Tszyu right now, Mar. My bad. My fault, mate. Didn't Tszyu hurt him once or twice in their fight? No. Are we talking Tim Tszyu versus Murtazaev? I don't think so. I don't think Zoo literally got tagged in the first exchange, didn't make an adjustment, got stopped in the second. That's what I don't understand. Why has Tim Zoo looked terrible after beating a good fighter like Gaucher? Even Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison, that in my opinion was his best win. Maybe because I was at that fight when Tony came down to Sydney and Tim stomped him in the ninth. This is the same Tony Harrison. You know, look what he's done. Legit world champion. Probably his best win. I think it's psychologically, guys. I mean, Zoo has been around guys his entire career telling him that he's a marauder, he's a bully. And then when that didn't go his way, what are you then? Are you a fraud? What's he telling himself? What is he a fraud then? If he's not the bully, he's getting stopped now. He's shown us that he hasn't made any adjustments. He's shown us that he doesn't have a plan B or C. Sometimes, guys, you got to go to that plan C to win a fight. It's not always plan A. Plan A doesn't always go your way. You know what I mean? And so even if you take Bud versus Canelo, you know, I felt Crawford was in control the entire time, right? But if you were to dissect that fight into thirds, the first third of that fight was, and we watched Crawford go into his levels. And you saw a beautiful executed game plan from his team and then Bud executing it. But the first quarter of the fight, the first 3 rounds of the fight, you saw Crawford and Canelo playing this chess match. And I thought the first 3 rounds were extremely fun and entertaining. Even though there wasn't a lot of action, it was awesome to see these two guys actually fighting and watching sort of the chess match that was going on. And then the middle part of the fight, you started seeing Crawford come a little bit closer, take a little bit more risks. And then the last part of the fight, when Bud knew that he was faster, had his timing, knew that he couldn't be hurt, you saw Crawford fighting him in the pocket from that really low stance here and just having his way with him. And that's just watching Crawford go through the gears, seeing the levels to his game. Now, how many Bud Crawfords are there? Not a lot. He's one of one. You know what I'm saying? But even at the world level, you know, you would expect the world champion or guys that fight for world titles to be able to go to a plan B or a plan C. It's very rarely that you see a world champion who can't go to a plan B. Tim Zoo, in my opinion, say what you will about him, the biggest take-home point for me, the biggest disappointment from his fans should be, isn't his toughness, isn't his durability, isn't the mindset. It was his inability to show that he had a different level. All that shows you that if you don't have a different level, that is an execution skill set. That's a preparation thing. You're telling me you fought your entire career and didn't know how to withstand getting hurt in the first round, didn't know how to clinch, didn't know how to fight at range, didn't know how to recover for 2 rounds from distance, didn't know how to use your jab to stay. I'm talking about the Murtazaev fight. And so that, and you know, that to me is that's somebody who's around people his entire career telling him that he's the big bad wolf when he wasn't. And so based off of that performance from Murtazaev, this is why everybody thinks Murtazaev is the boogeyman. I don't know, man. What does Boots do to Murtazaev? What do you think Jaron Ennis does to Murtazaev? You know, what does I mean, I'd like to see Xander versus Murtazaev. I don't know. I want to see the champions. I want to see the champions all unify. I'm a unify guy. You know, I want to see champions fight champions. Koki, what's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Nick Flaz will put the world on notice. Yeah, man. Nick Flaz is a fun fighter. Nick Flaz is another guy, mate. You know, had a couple losses early in his career. What is he in his? Nick Flaz is. I always think Nick Flaz is older than he really is. I always get his age wrong. Yeah, he's only 29. I thought Nick Flaz was like 38. He's 29 too. 15-2. You know, he got stopped against Boca Chica, and then he lost the decision against Normatov. Hasn't lost since 2020. 5 years undefeated. I really wanted to see Nick Flaz versus Pete Dobson. That was going to be a fun fight. Now he's fighting Tiger Johnson. You'd have to think based on Tiger Johnson's amateur pedigree, his undefeated record, you know, it might be. I guess Tiger would be a bigger name, but stylistically, in terms of like Pistol Pete Dobson, man, I was kind of bummed out that fight, you know, Dobson had to pull out with an injury. Just got home, 12-hour workday, man. You're an animal. You're an animal. Flash bars with Matias and Ella Santiago. Yeah, man, Nick Flaz is a fun fighter. You know, fun fighter. So there we go. We were talking about Plan Bs, and I feel like, you know, I don't know if it's all about people. I don't think people are ducking Murtazawa, man. Ennis versus Lima is soon. Um, I'm late Naji by knockout. Yeah, I got Naji on the money line, and then I got Naji by stoppage. A lot of the boys are taking Naji under 7. Mar the Prince says, word is Pac-Man is one of Raleigh's next. Get out of here. Is this real? And Mar usually, you're not going to spread false stuff. Pac-Man is one of Raleigh's next possible opponents. Imagine Raleigh's career accolades consisting of 2-time champion with a Pac-Man win. Let's go, Raleigh Romero. Come on, Raleigh. Raleigh, I always talk about Raleigh as one of my favorite fighters. No matter how anything else goes, no matter how anything else ever goes, Raleigh Romero will always be in the history books as a 2-division world champion at 40 and 47. And could you imagine if he fights Pac-Man? I always say it, I love guys who overachieve. I love it, and also the spirit he has, his personality. This is why our sport's the best sport in the world, mate. What other sport has just so many different type of characters as boxing does? Like your Keith Thurmans, Raleigh Romero, Hector Macho Camacho. Macho time! You know what I'm saying? Johnny, I really liked your live with Breaking Bad. Yeah, man. That's a fun one. I talk to him all the time. So we'll just have to tee it up. We're going to... the lives are... I usually save them for bigger fights. Great boxing fan, but I'm always open to doing lives. I've been doing them. So it was my first one with Nick. I've gone live with TJ multiple times now. Obviously, Gary and Muscles. Adam, salute, Johnny. Do you know Topps came out with the first set of boxing cards? No, I didn't know that. I'm a card. Some of you guys would know about me, man. I'm an OG card collector. I should go pull my cards out real quick. You wouldn't believe it. My favorite card, I got a 19. So my favorite card of all time is Walter Payton's rookie card. So out of, I think he went to Jackson State. But it's his first year with the Bears, 1975. I got in the back room. I have a Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle, his rookie year was 51. He retired in 69. So I have the last card ever from Mickey Mantle, one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. He had a career 298 in 18 years with the Yankees, 536 career home runs, and he had a career riddled with alcoholism. People always say, man, if the Mick would have just stayed healthy, not done the booze, he would have hit 800 home runs. But anyway, I'm a big card collector. I didn't know boxing. I didn't hear about these boxing cards. Koki, Raleigh should get winner of Haney and Norman Jr. Raleigh's a champion, mate. He gets to call his shots. Here we go. Fresh VX. I knew it was coming. Overachieved by robbery. Ishmael Barrow. Bro, that stoppage was head-scratching, right? They stopped the fight. What was more head-scratch, that fight, or did you... Fresh, were you watching the fights last weekend? I think it was one of those, we were watching in the Discord. There was a card last weekend where one of the boys was like, it was just a normal exchange. And the ref was like, I've seen enough. And they stopped it. And we're like, what the fuck? I'm going to change my name to Naji, #1 hater. Toxic in the house. I got to show you my 1-1 Jeter game used card. Nice, boxing fan. Koki, salute, Johnny. I'm a lifelong Yankee fan, but that Indians team in the 90s, oh, bro. That, dude, greatest team to never win a World Series, man. Our outfield alone was insane. Kenny Lofton, Manny, Albert Bell, Omar Vizquel, Sandy Alomar. What are we talking about, dude? Let's go. Aaron McKenna and Yenli Hernandez. Let's go. Did you see who guys, did you see Aaron McKenna's post? I don't know, Barry Unboxing, if you follow me on Insta, but I shared this post on my story. Aaron McKenna, who's a dog, he's coming off that stoppage win over Beefy. He does a post with with Adames, Elam Hunale, and Laura, and it's a wanted poster because nobody, he wants to fight for a title. Aaron McKenna, mate, don't sleep on Aaron McKenna, man. That dude can fight. He's young too. Johnny, Soul vs. Kim. Who do you like about Kim over Soul vs. Kim? I got Clavel there. I'll tell you why, actually. I didn't upload this video. I got Clavel at I think 140. Yeah. I got it 134 on the money line. And I just think that did you watch tape on both of them? I just think that and it's crazy. Clavel's the B side here too, but all the money's on her. I just think that she's just better than her. J. Cole, Kenny Lofton, best center fielder ever. How is Kenny Lofton not in the Hall of Fame? One of the best center fielders of all time to ever do it, mate. Kenny Lofton was a dog, man. Played basketball, University of Arizona. I don't know if you guys knew that. Kenny Lofton, man, what a stud. What a stand-up guy as well. Jim Thome. I remember when we had a third baseman in Cleveland. They drafted Jim Thome, I think, in 92 or 93. Our third baseman was a guy named Brooke Jacoby. They brought Brooke Jacoby in from the Brewers. 91, 92. I was like 10. Big nerd over here if you didn't know. And the Cleveland fan base, we were like winning 50 games a year, and they were salty that they drafted Jim Thome, who was a third baseman at the time, to replace Brooke Jacoby. And then Thome, they got rid of Jacoby. Thome played third base for a year. They put a guy named Pete O'Brien at first base, and they realized Jim Thome's not a third baseman. No range. His arm was suspicious, but he could hit the shit out of a ball. So they move him to first base, and then we end up getting Matt Williams to play third base, who was a really good home run hitter from San Francisco. He played for the Giants. But then Thome became the guy that everybody knows him for. His personality is good. He's a funny guy. It's not always about boxing. Raleigh got a gift against Jackson Marinez, too. Well, I don't understand why. Fresh BX, mate. I like him. I like Raleigh Romero because he's not supposed to be, like, he's not supposed to be here. Like, he's not supposed to be there. Like, this guy somehow is he's taken his skills, started boxing late. Pops was a boxer. And, he has power, but it's not like he doesn't have power in both hands. And if you look at him, if you were doing tape on him, and if you didn't know he was a pro, and you would ask a coach, say, hey, what do you think of this kid's technique? Any coach would be like, this dude, yeah, tell him to maybe find another sport. You know what I mean? Wide-ass base, gets out of position when he punches, runs at you with his chin here, fucking like that, doesn't really set up his jab. And he's done all that, and he found a way to land his hooks, and he found a way to fight for world titles, dude. And come on, mate. Got elevated at 47. How do you not cheer for a story like that, dude? I don't like front runners, guys. To answer your question, Fresh, I don't like front runners. I've always been an underdog. I come from the land of the underdog, Northeast Ohio, an old steel town. Everything. I like boxers who are underdog. I don't like front runners. So like guys who kind of people sleep on, and they overcome these odds to become 2-division world champion, mate. How do you not cheer for that? If Ryan Garcia wants more tape from Oscar and studied how he boxed, yeah. The thing about so why don't you like Jake Paul? Why don't I like Jake Paul? I mean, Jake Paul, 5 years in the sport now, prostituting our sport, Disney kid. I mean, no respect for fighters. There's a way to handle yourself. There's a way isn't. I mean, ethically, where Jake and I, we don't see eye to eye ethically. Like, call me. I don't judge him. Make your money, kid. But like, there's a way that I was raised to go around treating people, and he came from a different generation. Social media, clickbaity, to sell. But I mean, yeah. If you're gonna call out people when fight Jaya Pataya. Then say his name. That's somebody your weight. Stop calling out. You're fighting Sugar Tank. What are we doing, dude? Stop. This shouldn't even have to be an argument I have to defend. But I appreciate the question. If Ryan Garcia wants more tape from Oscar, yep. Anything on Amanda Gael. Amanda, didn't we cover that? Yeah, we covered that. I got, I'm not taking that fight, by the way. I don't have action on Galley versus Mendoza. Boxing fan with the $5 super chat. Hydrate, ginseng, and ginger. You'll bounce back. Well, knocking over lambs. My guy. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the super chat. Super chat, much appreciated. Joshua, Kevin, and Isaiah Lucero. We just covered this, didn't we? I think Lucero's a live dog here, Brandon. So it's kind of a, this isn't shade, kind of an obscure fight that a lot of people flying under the radar. But if you're looking at the odds right now, I brought this up earlier in the stream. I'm already an hour and 15 minutes in. But I talked about, if I had to look right now on the odds, Isaiah Lucero's plus 208. I mean, he could win this fight. So I'm not saying I'm going to bet on him, but if I had to, I would take Lucero to beat Anton. So we'll see what happens. I was happy Tyson smacked him. It wasn't a real fight, though, guys. I mean, Mike Tyson was an old head. What are we talking about? His last fight was 2005. We know about what Jake Paul's doing, man. He's getting rich off of our sport. He's prostituting our sport. I don't know if my guy is trolling me, who's asking me my opinion on Jake Paul. You're always on my stream. You know how I feel about this. I come from a place of respect. I went to my first pro fight in 1987. I was 5. I watched Boom Boom Mancini fight in Youngstown, Ohio. I was 5 years old. I was in my first boxing gym when I was 7, 1989, Southside Boxing Club. It's always been part of my life. So through that, there's I know many guys that I grew up with who can't even speak. Whether through brain damage or guys who are homeless. Boxing's a brutal sport. You don't go into boxing. You go into boxing, to find a way out, to fight for something better. So when a rich kid comes from the Disney Channel to sees a market in a gap in the market, to make millions off of the sport, doing how he operates, what do you mean, man? How do I cheer for that? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's disgusting. And I know the world has changed. So I'm the old one. So my perspective is the old one. But that's just why I don't cheer for Jake Paul. I'll never cheer for him. I mean, I think like what he's doing, it's the same thing that the Germans did. It's the same thing that they did with the Olympics in 1936, Munich. It's the same thing that Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing with golf, with F1, with boxing. It's called sports washing. But unlike Turkey and then the Germans, where there were people losing their lives at mass to accommodate a tyrannical government, and then they would use sports and entertainment as a disguise of what's really going on. Jake Paul's doing the same thing, but he's not hurting people. What he's doing is getting rich and wealthy off of our sport. He's gained his credibility by being a female boxing promoter, by giving the girls a chance to box. He doesn't give a shit about girls boxing. And then he is fighting old retired MMA fighters, knocking them out, 90-year-old boxers. He's been boxing already for 5 years, guys. What are we talking about? This is a young dude who is well documented, been on steroids. He's 29 years old, 5 years in the game. He should be, dude, Deontay Wilder picked up the gloves, and in 3 years, he won a medal in the Olympics. What are we talking about? This dude's fighting a dude who's 135 pounds. Stop, man. There's a way to go about things. This dude's and he's using our sport to prostitute it. Dude, guys like Mike Tyson should be revered. We don't want to see guys like Mike Tyson fight for the sake of making the bag. You know what I'm saying? They should be sitting back on their thrones. He had a beautiful career, and we should sit back and learn from guys like Mike. We don't put him in the ring to have some 29-year-old punk talk shit to him and push him into get out of here, man. How do you cheer for that? It's wild to me. I'm not mad at Jake because he's getting the women paid. This is what I mean, though. This is what he's doing, though. This is the narrative. He's getting the women paid. He doesn't care about women's fighting, mate. This is the defense, though, that he's doing, getting the women paid. What's his real intention? Intent versus attent. Intention versus attention. Carlos Adames, who should fight next? Shiraz fights at 68. Adames fights at 60. Shiraz said he doesn't want to go down to 60 again. Who he should fight next? Raleigh is an actual talented fighter's place. Lives in Costa Rica to avoid tag. He lives in Puerto Rico. Doesn't he live in Puerto Rico? Either way. That's my take on it. You a hater, Johnny. Why you be hating on Jake Paul? Johnny always be hating. He a little hater out here. He always be hating on Jake Paul, man. Oh, well. I'm a hater. Vlad beat Lucero. Vlad is no bueno. Guys, I got to wrap it up. So our boxing, I'm going to post that long parlay in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, that link is pinned here in the comment section below. It's a couple bucks a month. The fights start tomorrow at 3 a.m. my time. So It's 1 p.m. now, Saturday in the afternoon here in Sydney. 3 a.m. So in about 14 hours, Stanionis fights in Lithuania. So we have Stanionis fighting is the first fight, and then Ticey Gallagher, Sean McComb, and then the weekend is going to end with Naji Lopez. But then we have midweek fighting. So there's that Africa card on Wednesday with Brandon Glanton. So let's get this money this weekend. We're going to get this money tomorrow, and we're going to win. We're going to save this money, and then we're going to double down like we always do. I appreciate everybody in there. The super chats, I appreciate you. Be good.